Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for our first virtual Open Information Day. This morning I'm here with David Torsney from our computing team, who will run through his presentation about computing courses and why you should choose to study computing in cybersecurity at West Lothian College. And then he will answer any questions that you may have. So over to you, David.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you everyone for taking an interest in West Lothian College. In the computing area, we have many different courses, from foundation apprenticeship for those still at school, through NQ computing, and as you can see, a few HNCs in different disciplines through to HND software development. I'll give you a rough outline of where these all take you and what's involved. During the course, you will engage in lots of different software, some different hardware, and a lot of technical aspects to do with cybersecurity and programming. If you come in at an NQ computing, this is called level 5, which I'll clarify in a moment. You can then progress to any of our HNCs, as you see on the screen with the HNC computing, cybersecurity, digital web design, and we'll get a breakdown of these in a moment. From any of these, you can progress to either another college or university second year, or if you wish to stay at our college, you can move on to HND software development or HND cybersecurity, which then gives you progress to third year at university. So the levels are NQ computing 5, you then jump to HNC, which is level 7, which is the same as first year uni. Then HND is level 8, and the third year uni is level 9. Breakdown of each of the courses. HNC Cyber, we have a range of different types of things. We've got quite a lot of networking, because you need to understand networks to be able to do the cyber security, ethical hacking, penetration testing, etc. It ranges through project management, artificial intelligence, etc. And if you have a look at the screen, you can see all the main units. Now, each of these units are all assessed in different ways. There's a lot of multiple choice assessments, quite a lot of reporting, and because it is cybersecurity, quite a lot of practical exercises have to be done to prove that you're able to do it. At the bottom of the screen, I've put in a brief list of some of the occupations that you could take up. Now, there's a lot more than this, and it's quite easy to find them if you go searching. We have students who've completed courses in the past who have gone on to most of these careers. We've even got cyber guys now doing programming, and programming guys now doing cybersecurity and stuff. There's a huge demand out there, and it's increasing all the time. So if it's cybersecurity you're after, that's the one to go for. If you want to continue to HND, I've not put an outline on here yet, because you have to go through the HNC courses to get access to the HND. HNC computing is designed to mainly take you through to a programming career, software development career. So this is heavily weighted towards programming, web development programming, database programming, C# programming, lots of different programming for web apps and mobile applications. The main assessment on this one, as in the other one, which I should have mentioned, is an exam at the end to give you your grade, which helps towards progression. Again, if you take a look at the units, if you have an interest, and you can then see if it's the kind of course that you're after. But bear in mind, HNC computing would mainly take you on a software development path. You can see at the bottom again, you could be a software developer, database administrator, etc. Again, huge demand in the country for these jobs. The pay scales are very high. You can go in quite lowish, but you move up the ladder really quickly. The other one, the other HNC we have, HND, Digital Design and Web Development, as it says, it's shaped to take you on a career path through web design or digital marketing design. And again, there's a breakdown of units in there that should show you what the course is like. There's also a bit of games design in there, in case you want to branch off into the games market, and a list of careers at the bottom. In West Lothian College, we don't do an HND, follows on from this. So if you do the HNC, you would have to look at moving on either to employment, HND at another college, or university second year. Standard timetable for an HNC within the computing department is a 2.5-day week, either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as shown there. I've not put the details of classes in because they'll change for each course, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and they usually meet middle of the week at lunchtime. That would stay the same as much as possible throughout the whole year. It's to try and stop any issues with transport, employment, etc. You would also get the option, if you did get a place on the course, to choose the one that's suited so that it wouldn't cause any issues with your own working patterns, childcare, or travel. Other commitments when you're on the course: when you sign up to be an HNC student at West Lothian College, you also sign up to be what's called an associate student at Edinburgh Napier. And what this does is it gives you an Edinburgh Napier matriculation. You can then go to lectures at Edinburgh Napier, and lecturers will come and visit you at West Lothian College. It kind of smooths your way, the path if you are planning on going to university. If you are an associate student and you do apply to Napier, you have almost guaranteed access as long as you get the grades on your course. Although you will be a Napier associate student, doesn't commit you to only going to Napier. You can still apply to other universities, Edinburgh universities or Glasgow universities or Abertay. Other options that are available on the course, we do get quite a lot of employers in to speak to you, and some visits out to employers. Recent visits out to some high Microsoft companies in Edinburgh, and we've now tied in with them to offer graduate apprenticeships to some of our HND students. You will be expected to take part in all these visits and talks from other colleges, universities, employers, because they are part of your course and they do help you make a decision for your future. We also offer a foundation apprenticeship. This is more for students who are still at school. Now, I've laid out the 2-year plan here, and it's based on a year in college and a year split between college and with an employer. And this is designed to give you experience in the workplace, but also learn skills that you would need to move on into a full apprenticeship in the workplace. At the bottom, I've put in a quick summary of where you can go. You could go to university. If you pass the foundation apprenticeship, it's the equivalent to 2 hires. It does help you get into university. It also gives you access to full-time courses at West Lothian College and contact with employers. So your future starts here. Get yourself applying for a course in computing, and we'll see you in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, so there's a few questions that came in through our website from people who have signed up to our virtual open day.
Yeah.
So one of the first questions we had was, is there an expectation that students need to do any reading or prior research before starting the course?
Not necessarily. What we do, because we get a range of students from all different skills and backgrounds, experiences, we tend to take it from a starting position, and we expect all the students to have the same kind of knowledge. Possibly for the HNC cyber, you might look a bit at what's called IP addressing and subnetting. It's the one that usually gets a wee bit tricky. But other than that, I would say no, you're okay. Just bring yourself along and we'll get you prepared.
Perfect. So another question we had, which you touched on there, was the associate placements with Edinburgh Napier University. So a few people have asked, what do students who have studied computing at West Lothian College, what have they gone on to do previously? Yeah,
there's quite a range. I mean, it depends how far back you want to go. High flyers in the industry. Most of them get really good jobs in software development, security operations centres, network technicians, graphic designers. And if you look at the website, there are a couple of high-flying directors in America that have been here at the college and gone on to bigger things.
Yes, also I've heard about great case studies about one of our previous students who I believe you taught, now works in San Francisco, is it, for Adobe?
It's near enough. It's San Jose.
Yeah,
that's okay. He works for Adobe. He's the director of security with Adobe in San Jose, but I have to say, I taught him a while ago.
You wouldn't know. No, that's amazing. Perfect. So similarly to that, is you mentioned a few employers that we work with. Is it part of the course to do a work placement, and what organisations do you work with?
Right, we don't normally set up proper work placements, but we do have some with Sky Television. We're currently working with a company called Cortex International, who are a big Microsoft company in Edinburgh. We have some in the past with JP Morgan in Glasgow, various roles, software development, web design, and we are in discussions with company called Adama and another one called IOMART, who run security operations centres in Glasgow and Edinburgh. And they're looking at taking on work placements or associate students to do some work with them.
Perfect, yeah. So the final question is, if I was considering applying for a computing course at West Lothian College, what final piece of advice would you give to me?
I would just say review your options, look at the courses that are available, and if necessary, speak to ourselves for some advice. But be ready to commit to some heavy work during the year, because it's quite a lot of work, because it's a serious course that takes you in a serious direction, but the rewards are very good at the end.
Perfect, yeah, so I think that covers all the questions we've had from applicants and potential applicants. So as David says, feel free to get in contact with us by emailing marketing@west-lothian.ac.uk,